Tales and Poems of Edgar Allan Poe. Let us read about him. Let us get to know him. About the author. Edgar Allan Poe, born 1809, died in 1849. Edgar Allan Poe was born in Boston, Massachusetts, on January 19th, 1809. Orphaned at the age of 3, he was adopted by a wealthy family in Richmond, Virginia, with whom he had a troubled relationship. Poe excelled in literature and languages in his school studies and self-published his first book, Tamerlane and Other Poems. In 1827, he enrolled at West Point in 1830, but was expelled within the year. Determined to make a career of writing, Poe alternated between New York and Baltimore for the next 5 years, contributing reviews and essays to popular periodicals that earned him a reputation and a discerning critic. He also wrote sketches and short fiction that showed the same imaginative romance tendencies as his poetry. In 1836, Poe married his 13-year-old cousin, Virginia Clem. He moved to Philadelphia in 1838, the same year that his sole novel, The Narrative of Arthur Gordon Pym of Nantucket, was published. Over the next 5 years, he wrote tales of the macabre and psychological horror that would bring him literary renown, including The Fall of the House of Usher, The Mask of the Red Death, and The Telltale Heart. In 1841, he wrote The Murders in the Rue Morgue, generally considered the first modern detective story. Some of his best stories were collected in the Tales of the Grotesque and Abstract, 1840, and Tales, 1845. The Raven and Other Poems, 1845, brought him additional fame as a poet. Virginia died in 1847, and desperate and increasing illness aggravated excesses of Poe's lifestyle. He died in Baltimore on October 7th, 1849. Let us read some of his poetry. O tempora, O mors. O tempora, O mors, O times, O manners, it is my opinion that you are changing sadly. Your dominion, I mean the reign of manners, hath long ceased, for men have none at all, or bad at least. And as for times, although 'tis said by many, the good old times were far the worst of any, of which sounds doctrine I believe each title, yet I still think worse than them a little. I've been a-thinking, isn't that the phrase? I like your Yankee words and Yankee ways. I've been thinking whether it were best to take things seriously or all in jest, whether with grim Heraclitus of yore, to weep as he did till his eyes were sore, or laugh with him, that queer philosopher Demetrius of Thrace, who used to toss over the page of life and grin at the dog's ears, as though he'd say, why, who the devil cares? This is a question. This is a question which, oh heaven, withdraw the luckless query from a member's claw. Instead of 2 sides, job has nearly 8, each fit to furnish forth for nearly 8. What shall be done, I lay it on the table, and take the matter up when I'm more able. And in the meantime, to prevent all bother, I'll neither laugh with one, nor cry with t'other, nor deal with flattery or asperse flowl, but taking one by each hand, merely growl. Oh, growl, say you, my friend, and pray at what? Why really, sir, I almost had forgot. Damn it, sir, I deem it a disgrace that things should stare us boldly in the face, and daily strut the street with bows and scrapes. Who would be men by intimidating apes? I beg your pardon, reader, for the oath. The monkeys make me swear, though something loath. I'm apt to discursive in my style, but pray be patient yet a little while. Will change me, and as politicians do, I'll amend my manners and my measures too. Of all the cities I've seen no few, for all I have traveled, friend, as well as you. I don't remember one upon my soul, but take it generally upon the whole, as members say they like their logic taken, because divided it may chance be shaken. So pat, agreeable, and vastly proper, as for a neat, frisky counterhopper. Here he may revel to his heart's content, flouse like a fish in his own element, toss back in his fine curls from their forehead fair, and topper, oh, countries with Vesta's air. Complete at night, when he began a.m., having cheated ladies, dance with them. For at the ball, what fair one can escape? The pretty little hand that sold her tape, or who so cold, so callous to refuse the youth who cut ribbon for her shoes. One of these fish, par excellence the beau. God help me, it has been my lot to know, at least by sight, for I'm a timid man, and always keep from laughing if I can, but speak to him, he'll make you such a grimace. Lord, to be grave exceeds the power of face. The hearts of all ladies are with him, their bright eyes on his Tom and Jerry brim, and dove-tailed coat obtained at cost, while then those eyes won't turn on anything like men. His very voice, his musical delight, his form, when seen, become a pair of sight. In short, his shirt collar, his look, his tone, is the beau ideal, fancied for Dionysus. Philosophers have often held dispute as to seat the thought in man brute, for the power of thought attends the latter. My friend the beau hath made settled matter, and spite of all dogmans in current all ages, unsettled fact is better than 10 sages. For he does think, though I am oft in doubt, if I can tell exactly what about. Ah yes, his little foot ankle trim, 'tis the seat of reasons lie in him. A wise philosopher would shake his head, he then of course must shake his foot instead. At me in vengeance shall the foot be shaken, another proof of thought I'm not mistaken, because to his cat's eye I hold a glass, and let him see himself a proper ass. I think he'll take this likeness to himself, but if he won't, he shall, a stupid elf. And lest the guessing throw the fool in fits, I close the portrait with the names of Pits. To Margaret, who hath seduced to thee to this foul revolt, from the pure well of the beauty undefiled, so banished from true wisdom to prefer such as wild wit to honorable rhyme, to write, to scribble, nonsense and no more. I will write upon this argument. To write is human, not to write divine. To Octavia, when wit and wine and friends have met, and laughter crowns the festive hour, in vain I struggle to forget, still does my heart to confess thy power, and fondly turn to thee. But Octavia, do not strive to rob my heart of all that soothes its pain, the mournful hope that every throb will make it break for thee. Song. I see thee on thy bridal day, when a burning blush came over thee. Though happiness around thee lay, the world all love before thee, and thine eye-kindling light, whatever it might be, was all on earth my aching sight of loveness could see. That blush perhaps was made in shame, as such it well may pass, though its glow hath raised a fiercer flame in the breast of him, alas, who saw thee on that bridal day, when that deep blush would come over thee. Though happiness around thee lay, the world all love before thee. Dreams. Oh, that my young life were a lasting dream, my spirit not awakening till the beam of an eternity should bring the morrow. Yes, though that long dream were a hopeless sorrow, they're better than cold reality of waking life to him whose heart must be, and hath been still upon the lovely earth, a chaos of deep passion in his birth. But should it be a dream eternally, continuing as dreams have been to me in my young boyhood, should it thus be given, their folly hopes, their folly still to hope for higher haven. For I reveled when the sun was bright, I the summer sky, and the dreams of living life and loveliness have left my very heart in climes of my imagining apart from mine own home, with beings that have been of mine own thought. What more could I have seen? 'Twas once and only once, the wild hour, from my remembrance shall not pass. Some power or spell had bound me. 'Twas the chilly wind came over me in the night and left behind its image on my spirit, or the moon shone on my slumbers in her lofty noon, too coldly, or stars. However, it was that dream was at that night wind, let it pass. I have been happy though but in a dream. I have been happy, and I love the theme of dreams in their vivid coloring of life, as in the fleeing shadowy misty strife of the semblance with reality, which brings to the delirious eye more lovely things. voice of love, and all of our own. Then young hope in his sunniest hour hath known. Spirits of the dead. 1. Thy soul shall find itself alone, mid dark thoughts of grey tombstone, not one full crowd to pry into thine hour of secrecy. 2. Be silent in that solitude, which is not loneliness for them, spirits of the dead who stood in life before thee are again, in death around thee, and their will shall overshadow thee. Be still. 3. The night, though clear, shall frown, and the stars shall not look down from their high thrones in the heaven, with light like hope to mortals given. But the red orbs without beam, to thy weariness shall it seem as a burning and a fever which would cling to thee forever. 4. Now our thoughts thou shalt not banish, now our visions never to vanish. From the spirit shall they pass, no more like dewdrop from grass. 5. The breeze, the beneath of God, is still, and the mist upon the hill, shadowy, yet unbroken, is a symbol and a token, how it hangs upon the trees, a mystery of mysteries. Evening Star. 'Twas noontide of summer, and mid-time of night, and stars in their orbits shone pale through the light of the brighter cold moon, mid planets her slaves, herself in the heavens, her beam on the waves. I gazed a while on her cold smile, too cold for me. There passed a shroud, a fleecy cloud, and I turned away to thee, proud evening star, in thy glory afar, and dear thy beam shall be. For joy to my heart is the proudest part thou bearest in heaven at night, and more I admire thy distant fire than that colder lonely night. Imitation. A dark, unfathomable tide of interterminable pride, a mystery and a dream, should my life seem. I say that dream was fraught with a wild and waking thought of beings that have been, which my spirit hath not seen. I had let them pass by with a dreaming eye. Let none of earth inherit that vision of my spirit. Those thoughts I would control as a spell upon this soul, for that bright hope at last, and that light of time had passed, and my worldly rest hath gone with a sigh as it passed on. I care not though it perished, with a thought then I cherished. A dream. In visions of the dark night, I have dreamed of joy departed, but a waking dream of life and light hath left me broken-hearted. Ah, was it not a dream by day, to him whose eyes are cast on things around him, with a ray turned back upon the past, that holy dream, while all the world were chiding, hath cheered me as a lovely beam, a lonely spirit guiding. What though the light through storm and night, so troubled from afar? What could there be more purely bright be reading of the complete tales and poems of Edgar Allan Poe. I hope you enjoy. Good luck.